This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
If Charlie were to turn, how would that, I mean, obviously we got the appeal issue here. Let's say he waits to turn. Would he wait till he can run those out? I mean, if he fails at all of them and it's like, well, I guess I got nothing to lose now. And what sort of a benefit, would there be a benefit to Charlie if he were to turn and just kind of go state's witness on Wendi? Would that affect his sentence? Would that be something that would be looked at, or would that be more so to help try and save mom more than anybody else?
I think it would probably be a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
I have to believe that they have gone to Donna's attorneys and Charlie's attorneys and said, just give us Wendi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you work with us on Wendi, we'll do everything we can to go in and get you resentenced and shave some time off that. You know, they're probably making the same type of promises to Donna,
Mm-hmm.
or not. you
Yeah.
know? But as far as Charlie goes, I mean, like, that's kind of where the rubber hits the road from the state's perspective. Is he going to be willing to submarine his appellate chances by turning state's evidence, or is he going to wait to play it out? Because I just, like, the case against Wendi, at least from what we know, I mean, they certainly have some circumstantial evidence. She's driving by the crime scene, like, right as it's happening. It very much seems to be that she was in the know. That's, again, another amazing coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I don't know if they have enough. If you get 12 people in a jury box that really know nothing about the Adelson case, and you're just putting on the evidence, you know, and I mean, you're going to have, like, you're at that point, you're relying on the fact that common sense dictates that there's no way that Wendi's mother and brother are going through all of this shit and it's not at her behest. Because who benefits the most?
Exactly.
Donna getting to see her grandkids every once in a while? Yeah, I mean, sure, but her daughter not having to deal with Dan Markel anymore, I guess, is what, you know. So, but that's really, you know, it's a highly circumstantial case against Wendi.
Yeah.
I mean, they really need one of them to flip, unless they have, like, 'cause that's what I'm saying. If they had powerful evidence, if they had any text messages between Wendi and Charlie, or Wendi and mom, or WhatsApp, whatever, if they had any kind of communications where she's inculpating herself or showing that she had knowledge, I don't see why they'd be waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think as far as Donna went, like, Charlie was he was the test case. We have to, like, because it's like we've got to run this thing by a jury and see how it plays out, and if they're receptive, then we feel very comfortable about moving forward on Donna, and then potentially Wendi. But, you know, we'll see how it plays out. It's just it's a jacked up story. And
Yeah.
it's so sad.
I mean, it's like they've been kind of just picking them off one by one. Obviously, we did see Donna on the stand, and that was interesting. Do you think she takes the stand in the actual trial? Is that a good idea from a legal perspective?
I don't know. I never think it's a good idea for the defendant to take the stand. Like, even if they're innocent, it's so easy to have something that you say being misconstrued, especially if there's enough circumstantial evidence that exists, which typically, if it's gone to trial, there's going to be some things that exist that look, if looked at in the right context, look shady. You know what I mean? Like, you don't make it all the way to trial with there being no direct evidence and no substantial circumstantial evidence. So, you know, and then even if you're innocent and they, like, but you're weighing it against this circumstantial evidence that they have, like, oh, well, you wrote this big fat check. What was that for, Donna? For the TV repairman? Yeah, sure, pal. You know, like the whole Harvey's birthday thing, like all these little things that are going to come out, you know, when she gets up there, you know, and she says one thing that just does not jive, you're done for up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get the sense that you're full of shit at any point during your testimony, you're done.
Yeah.
Because if they figure if you're lying about that, you're lying about all of it.
Yeah. She just struck me. I mean, if you didn't know anything about the case and you just watched her testimony, she doesn't come off as a likable person. She comes across as that, narcissistic grandmother or mother that everybody knows, someone who's like that. That's just the victim of everything, and everything is so hard.
Privileged, so privileged.
Yeah. And just so, just completely into themselves without any sort of, recognition of anything else around her. And it's sickening, especially if you recognize those type of people in your life and you're like, oh, she's one of them. I mean, and it's to an extreme. And I just I do not see her coming across as the frail grandmother that's just been victimized here. She does not pull that at all.
I agree. And I mean, look at that bond hearing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was the perfect example of exactly what you're saying. Everybody that is in that facility is going through the same shit, and she's getting on the stand sniveling about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it just makes her look like an entitled, narcissistic, wealthy old bag.
Yeah. Who would very likely do something like this. I mean, if I can't have it, then I'm going to take care of it this way. And she doesn't have to say that. And it's, you don't want to put words in somebody's mouth or anything, but that's the aura that she gives off. Right. And it's so toxic. You
answered your own question. That's why you don't put her on the stand.
I know, but
she oozes that shit.
Why did they they had to know what she was going to be like on the stand, and they put her up there.
Well, maybe not. Now they know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe in coaching, she was very, very
sympathetic.
She came across as like B. Arthur or something. B. Arthur's probably not a good example.
Right. No.
B is kind of like her.
Yes, Aunt B from the Andy Griffith Show. Yeah. That's who you're hoping.
Yes, that's what you want. Or Betty White. That sort of.
Yes.
Get a Betty White up there, and then it would work. But you don't want B. Arthur on the stand.
No, you don't want because that's basically who you have.
That's what you have right now. That's a good a good point to make there. How do you think the defense is going to try and poke holes into the prosecution's argument that Donna funded the murder or didn't fund the murder? When you have the check, when you have the drop off, you have all that stuff. I mean, how are you going to say that she didn't know what the hell she was doing?
Right. Well, I mean, you've got to come up with a viable explanation of where the money went.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there has to be whatever they're tendering to the state in discovery, which they would have to tender if they have the ability to rebut their evidence with financial statements. But you have to know they've gone in, they've dug in, they have all of her financials. Mm-hmm. They have all of her Harvey's financials. The real thing is how much is there? Mm-hmm. We only heard about the one. Does there exist more? You know what I'm saying? When they finally went in and arrested Donna, that I'm sure the next step was that they went and got a search warrant for the house. Mm-hmm. When you get the search warrant for the house, you're then getting into their safe. Yeah. And you're finding out if they have just a massive amount of cash piled up in there. Because then if you're the state, you're making the argument, well, okay, she only wrote the one check, but during the search of her home, she had $350,000 cash piled up in her. You know what I mean? So for the defense, I mean, you're just going to have to say, but what evidence do you have that she paid it?
Yeah.
That's how you attack it. Mm-hmm. It's like you're saying, well, them's just words that the state's saying. Sure. That's not evidence. They need proof that the money came from Donna, went to Charlie, and then went to Katie. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have to prove it up. Yeah. So, I mean, you're really here. I am certain, or shouldn't say anything in this case about being certain, but I'm guessing that they're not going to go with the whole strategy of the money got paid as an extortion thing again. Mm-hmm. But I mean, because that is a thing. And Rashbaum really. He was all in on it, man. In terms of the defense, he was like, man, Like I like this is like I think this is what happened type shit. Like I believe it. Like he was really trying to sell it. And like if you're Donna's attorney, I mean that attorney doesn't strike me as one who's going to be willing to put forth that defense, which leaves you with that question. I mean, as bizarre and kind of ridiculous as that defense was, at least it was an explanation of why
it's a defense of some sort. Yeah, I just
right. So if they're not going to do that, like she's going to have to come up with some other explanation.
Yeah,
which I don't know what it is.
Or is she going to take a plea deal? Are they going to offer a plea deal of like, look, we'll give you 20 years, and maybe you'll be 95 when you get out. I don't know.
I mean, like that. Like I'm telling you, Donna wants to call it a day.
Yeah.
Like she, like the concept of what she was living, the entirety of her life to what she's living now.
Yeah.
And like who she is, who we know her to be from watching and listening to her and hearing about her. Dude, she is in hell.
Yeah.
In her mind, for her, she is in absolute hell. Because I am typically of the mindset that we as human beings can adapt. No matter how shitty the situation is, we adapt. Like you get used to it. Like we just like Donna will never get used to it.
No.
Like Donna, like, you know what I mean? I think that like I don't even know if she'd take a deal if they offered her a deal just on the off chance that she can beat it, that she's willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because at this point, I'm sure they've made the offer. Because the longer that Georgia Cappleman has to prepare for this trial, the less likely it is that deal stays on the table if there is one.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, it's game over for Donna in pretty much every way imaginable, it seems. And,
yep. Yes, indeed.
Can't wait to watch.
The latest true crime stories, expert breakdowns, and shocking twists, all in one place. Press subscribe now to the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.